Hello, dear students. Today we are going to read the poem Woman to Man by Judith Wright. Judith Arundel Wright, 31st May 1915 to 25th June 2000, was an Australian poet, environmentalist, and campaigner for Aboriginal land rights. She was a recipient of the Christopher Brennan Award, and she was also a recipient of the Australian National Living Treasure Award in 1998. Woman to Man 1949 is the second collection of poems by Australian poet Judith Wright. It won the Grace Levin Prize for Poetry in 1949. The collection consists of 44 poems, some with their original publication in this book, and some of which were previously published in magazines such as Mianzin, Southerly, and The Bulletin, and various Australian poetry collections. This poem, Woman to Man, that we are going to read was also in this collection, which was also eponymously known as Woman to Man. The first stanza talks about the eyeless laborer, the laborer who cannot see. In the night, the selfless, shapeless seed I hold. So this is about a mother who is pregnant, a woman who is pregnant. And inside her womb there is an eyeless laborer, a child whose eyes aren't formed. In early stages of development of a child within the womb, the face, etc., are not formed. And it is also about that inside the womb there is darkness, so the child cannot see. So the eyeless laborer in the night is working in the night inside the womb, and that is causing pain to the mother. It is also the symbol of labor pain. And the laborer who toils upon Mother Earth. So when we are working on the earth, we are also causing pain to Mother Earth. In the same way, the child, when it is moving inside the mother's womb, it is also causing pain to the mother's womb. And it is selfless, shapeless seed she is holding. The mother is carrying the seed inside her. There is no form of that baby. Builds for its resurrection day. The child is growing inside the mother's womb to be born. And she is calling it resurrection, reborn, rebirth. Why she is calling it rebirth is because the first time the child is born within the womb, and it is the second birth outside the womb. So a child is born twice, once inside the mother's womb and the second time outside the mother's womb. Silent and swift and deep from sight. The child inside the body is like a laborer who is working silently, working swiftly, and it is deep, it's away from the sight. The mother cannot see this child which is not born. It's about an unborn child. Foresees the unimagined light. So there is an unimagined light that the child will bring, or the mother is expecting the child to see the light of the world. There is no child with a child's face. The child doesn't have a face inside a womb. So there is no face of the child. Still the mother loves the child. Still the bonding between the mother and the child is there. This has no name to name it by. There is no name given to the child unless it is born in the world. But inside the mother's womb, it is still alive. For the mother, the child is alive. Even it is nameless, even it is shapeless, even if there is no face of the child, still for the mother, it is her baby. Yet you and I have known it well. She is talking it to the father of the baby. The mother and the father, they know the child well, though there is no form, no shape, no name of the child. This is our hunter and our chase. So we were waiting for this child. Because parents are always awaiting the birth of a child. So this is our hunter. He will hunt us. This is also our chase. So this is the paradox. We want the child, and then we will have to live for the child. So it is our hunter and our chase. The third who lay in our embrace. When two people are in love, they cannot accept any third person in between them. But the only third person that a woman and man in a relationship can allow between them is a child, is their child. So the third who lay in our embrace. This is the strength that your arm knows. You know the strength. The arc of flesh that it is my breast. You know the strength of my breast. The woman is talking about breast. And so this breast is now not the symbol of sexuality, but it is a symbol of motherhood. You know my breast. How I'll take care of my child with my breasts. The precise crystal of our eyes, the tears of our eyes, tears of joy because we will hold our child in our arms. This is the blood's wild tree that grows because the child is fed on the mother's blood. So it is just a flesh and blood of the mother, and it will grow like a tree. Again, a very eco-feminist image where the image of fertility, the image of a growing plant, of a growing tree, is compared to that of a mother giving birth to a child. The intricate and the folded rose. The child, the baby being born, is like a folded rose which will unfold, which will grow fully, which will bloom, which the bud will bloom into a full blown rose. So that is how the child will grow and will come out of the mother's womb. This is the maker and the made. The child is our maker. We have made the child, but the child will also define us, who we are. So again the paradox that the child is our maker. He will make us and is also made by us. This is the question and reply. This is our question, what our child will be, how we will be. And this is also our reply to our love, to our being together, to our togetherness. The blind head butting at the dark. The head is still blind inside a mother's womb. The child's eyes aren't formed. And even if they are formed, they cannot see because the mother's womb is all dark. There is no light over there. The blaze of light along the blade. But when the child will come out of the mother's womb, there will be light around it, but there will also be violence, there will also be brutality, there will also be sadness, there will be anxiety, there will be pain, and the problems of being born will be there. So she is afraid for her child that maybe when the child is born, it won't be nurtured in the same way and protected in the same way as it is inside the womb, and the child will have to face all the troubles of the world. Oh, hold me, for I am afraid. So she wants her man to hold her. She is not a man hater. She believes in the cohabitation of man and women, and she believes that men and women together produce children, and she sees reproduction as nurturing, as caring, as caregiving, and she looks at the beauty of it. So she is afraid to give birth to a child, and she needs the man to be there around her to give birth and to protect the child. So you can infer this poem in the form of a feminist poem as an eco-feminist poem, because there are parallels between caregiver, mother, and the mother nature. They are both fertile, they both give birth, and there is a growth of a seed in both mother nature and in a mother, in a woman. So that comparison can be made. And women, you can see the aspects of a woman's personality as a mother, as a lover, and a wife, and you can see the symbols of mother and womanhood. But you can also see the balancing that a father and mother, both parents, do for a child.